Good morning, friends. Good morning, good morning. If you're catching us on the replay, welcome to the replay. If you're joining in this morning, post a hello and tell me where you're joining from. Maybe a little emoji or something so that I know who's with me. Let me know that you can hear everything okay. Yay, good morning, good morning. We're going to be making a card today. Playing with some Chalkology paste and some ink. Got a couple colors ready to go. I'm going to do some silver ink. This silver shimmer ink is so pretty. I cannot wait to play with that. And then I'm going to bust out the peacock again. Oh my goodness, it was so messy yesterday. So messy. Post a hello or a emoji or something so I know who's watching. Good morning, Miss Natalie. Hi, thanks for jumping in. I'll play with this happy birthday template today. Make a birthday card, just something simple. I'm really excited to give it a try. I think it says Linda is with us this morning. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, good morning. Yay, I'm going to give it a few minutes and let people jump in, grab their coffee, get settled. I've got my coffee. I think I always have my coffee. Is anybody else like that? Does anybody else always have something very specific with them to drink? I'm a 3-drink person almost all the time, which is kind of funny. I have water, I have coffee, and then I have something else. A lot of the times, that's how it goes for me. Silly, but it's true. How's everybody doing this morning? Up to anything in particular? Let's see. Give it one more minute. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just take this out of the package, and that'll cut down on our glare a little bit, I hope. I hope. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda. I don't know why it's giving you a hard time. There's also, there should be like little emojis and some pre-programmed stuff that Facebook usually has on there too, where you just tap the button. Good morning, good morning. It's dreary this morning. Yeah, it's not. It looks like it's going to be a sunny, hot day here in North Texas. I don't know. I haven't checked the weather. I'm a little scared of the weather these days. It's driving me kind of crazy. I'm just going to cut these apart. Actually, before I even cut them apart, I'm going to write on the back. And let's see. This one is Happy Birthday. And this one, let's see where it is. Over here is liner. That is for the cupcake. I should say cupcake liner. Let's see if I can put that in there. Cupcake liner. That makes much more sense. Look at this cute cupcake. It says happy birthday and the icing all big and all tall. Who doesn't want that? Oh my gosh, I want that right now. I'll tell you guys a funny story. This morning I got notifications that I had some new messages and things I had to respond to. So I jump on my Facebook so that I can respond to them. And somebody had posted to my timeline a John Travolta clip from Saturday Night Fever. And I now have stuck in my head More Than a Woman from the Bee Gees, which is just crazy. I'm like, I can't get that out of my head. More than a woman. And it's like, I don't even like that song. I just like John Travolta. So that was really funny for me this morning. This little, next to the little cupcake liner, we have a tiny heart and a tiny star and 3 little dots. And that's for doing extra decorations. I don't think I'm going to be using those today, but I just wanted to show them because I'm going to cut them off and set them aside. I know. Y'all need to give me a song to have stuck in my head. Can you hear me okay? I'm having volume issues on my end, so I had to turn everything completely down to keep from having any kind of feedback. And I'm like, oh gosh, I hope that I didn't mess up my speaker volume while I was at that, while I was doing all that. Done with the scissors, done with the marker. Today is Couture Teal Day. I'm going to be using lots of versions of teal. So let's see. I'm going to start. Actually, we're going to start with the cupcake liner. So that's the one I need to try to do first. Just going to be fuzzing it up a little bit. Do y'all have any big plans for today? Yay, thank you, Nat. I'm glad you can hear me good. I'm just going to fuzz this up a couple times. Really, because we're doing this on paper, I'm going to just be trying to push down the silk screen area and not the edges of this on the paper because it sticks on paper so well. And I want to make sure it comes off my paper. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this one started as well. Maybe. Sometimes they come off really easy and other times they do not. So I try to pull the backer away from the transfer to keep from having any distortion on my transfer. I want to get as many uses out of the transfer as I can, especially something like this because I'm going to make birthday cards with this thing. This is just too cute. Too cute. Love it. Try to stay in frame. It's hard for me to tell on my tablet. I have a setup where I have my phone is actually filming overhead shot, and then I have my tablet in front of me that is supposed to be giving me the monitor view and more importantly the comments, but it's really delayed, and so by the time I see what I'm doing, I've already finished doing it. So it's kind of funny. Phyllis is watching as well. Good morning, Phyllis. Thanks for joining in. Glad to have you. All right. So I thought today we would play with this silver shimmer ink. Oh, it's so pretty. It's got just a ton of sparkle to it. The camera just doesn't even do it justice. And then this blue peacock color. And so you guys let me know. Should I do the liner, the foil liner? Should I do it in the silver? Or would you rather see the happy birthday in the silver sparkle and do the liner in the blue? So you want the liner in silver or the liner in blue? Because that's what we're going to do first. I'll give you a second so that y'all can comment for me. And while we're doing that, I'm going to just go over the measurements, what I've got. Simple white 110-pound Nina cardstock in the solar white, and I have that cut to be an A2 base, so it's 5.5 inches tall, and the front is 4 1/4 wide. And then I've made a mat for that that's going to leave a little bit of a border around it, and that mat is 5 1/4 tall by 4 inches wide. And oh, let me see, not in frame. Okay, and then we're going to actually ink and paste on the white, and I've made that a little bit smaller than normal. I did 4 3/4 by 3 3/4 for this one, so there was more of a blue edge at the top and the bottom. Not much more, but a little bit more, and so that's how we're going to do our assembly of the pieces, and I'll go over that again when we're actually ready to do it. But First things first, let's put this cupcake on here. And I think what I need to do is make sure first and foremost, even though we're going to do the liner first, I need to make sure of my placement and see. Yeah, we're going to go all the way to the bottom of our paper with the cupcake liner. So I'm just going to look through the transfer and you can see the shadow of the paper. And I'm going to kind of try to center that. Oh, that's harder to do than I thought it would be. I don't know, I've got it a little bit more one direction than the other, but it's not too bad. And I'm just going to press down right here over the silk screen area and make sure that that has good contact. And Natalie, you vote blue for the cupcake liner. Give me a thumbs up if that's what you want to see, Nat. Blue cupcake liner. It feels like there's something underneath there. There's not. This blue is crazy. It's called peacock blue. Thank you. Thank you for that, Nat. Okay, we're going to do it in blue. So it's called peacock blue. It is a gorgeous color of blue. I'm just going to show you what's in the lid. And a little bit goes a long way with the ink. So I'm actually going to just scrape some out of the lid right here and get some on my little mini squeegee. This is a small squeegee that was in our older catalogs, and they're actually discontinuing this size. And I cut it into 4 pieces. So I cut it in half and I cut it in half again so that I would have a little tiny squeegee to be able to work with. And I'm going to take that little bit, trying to make sure I don't have it on my hands. I'm going to take that little bit and go right to the transfer and put it directly over the silk screen. Now this is paper, so the difference in paper and all of the solid surfaces that I've been working with before is paper soaks it in really quick. So you don't have as much to like pull with, because usually I put it on and I pull the color through. Well, this just soaks up the paper super quick. So it's going to use just about everything that I put on my little squeegee, and that is okay. It's still just a tiny amount, and it's such a great effect. So then I'm just going to pull it off and reveal our cupcake liner. So there we go. And I'm going to set our cupcake liner in some water next to me. And because I'm going to do another layer, I'm actually going to hit this with a heat gun. So it's going to get loud for a second. Before I do that, let me go ahead and wipe off my little squeegee, set it aside, and put the lid on my chalk paste because there's no need for that to sit there and get dry. And now I'm going to go over and hit it with a heat gun. So it's going to get loud, but I'm going to move it away from the camera a little bit. Do both sides so it's less warping. Now the chalk pastes don't need to be heat set. They dry on their own. The reason I'm using the heat gun, and you can also use just a plain old-fashioned hair dryer if you don't have a heat gun. I'm using the heat gun so that I can make sure that this first layer is dry before I put the next layer on. Otherwise the adhesive attaches to the chalk paste and will pull it right off of the paper. Now I've been watching lots of videos from people in our organization, the different designers that I work with, and what I have found, the common thread is everybody says if you have your choice in paper, use Bristol Ultra Smooth. And that is the best thing to work with because it has less fiber in the paper, and that smooth keeps it from keeps the adhesive from lifting up parts of your paper and making it a little imperfect. Now where mine is a little imperfect, you're not even going to be able to tell because I'm going to be inking over the top of it. So let's see. Give that just another second. Look at that pretty blue. See if I can get it in the light for you guys. Yeah, really liking that blue. Okay, and so next we're gonna take the happy birthday portion, and this lines up just exactly over the cupcake liner. So if I can get it just so, and you just use the edge of the design for the cupcake over the edge of the cupcake liner. It's just that simple. And then I'm gonna press down my silk screen where it says happy birthday. Get that pressed down. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay, and so sparkle silver. Oh my goodness, this sparkle silver, you guys. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's like glitter gone wild. And this is the Couture ink. So the Couture ink is a little bit thinner than the chalk paste. Again, it's going to react really, really quickly with the paper. It's going to soak into the paper really quickly. So it may take a little more than if I'm working on a solid surface like wood or glass. Not wood, chalkboard, glass, metal. Those surfaces don't soak it up nearly as fast. Wood, if it isn't waxed, is going to soak it up even more so than paper is. So just know that. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to put a little bit on here, and I'm going to just pull it around the design. I'm going from the outside in. That up. I'm trying to just get it on the edges of the design because it does stick to the transfer a little bit, which is not a big deal, but I don't want to waste anything I don't have to waste. This takes so little product, it goes a long, long way, but I want to make sure that I get every use out of it that I possibly can. Hope that makes sense. I'm trying to make sure that I cover every little bit of this design. I don't want to have any part of the happy birthday not covered. And look, there's so much still left on my squeegee, and I just put that right back in the bottle so that I can use it at a time, right back in the jar. So there's that. Put the lid back on that guy. And make sure there's none on my fingers. And I'm just going to try to lift it up. I'm going to go from the bottom. Yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness. Love that. Love that. Can you guys see it well? I'm hoping that you can. It says happy birthday. It's all shiny and sparkly. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. All right, so I'm going to take my A2 card base. I've got an A2 card base that's cut 5.5 tall by 4.5 wide. I've got, and that's just Nina Solar White. I'm using what I had on hand. It's 110 pound. And then I have this blue that was a blue that I thought was close to the peacock blue. And I cut this mat at 5.25 tall by 4 inches wide. And I'm going to attach the happy birthday to it. You know what? Before I attach it, I'm just going to hit it with a heat gun because I would hate to smear it at this point. So it's going to get loud again. Do the back as well. Now with the Couture ink, they tell you to heat set everything in between layers anyway, and heat setting things makes it permanent, but you need more heat than a heat gun. You need an iron or an easy press or a heat press, or you need to heat it in the oven, and obviously we can't do that with paper, but it's not going to wash off of the paper anyway because it soaks right in. So, okay, this mat I cut down to 4 3/4 inches tall by 3 3/4 inches wide. And so I'm just going to take it. I've got my art glitter glue with my gorgeous, what do we call it? A bottle topper stopper that Natalie McCauley makes, our own Mama Bear. She makes these and has them in her Etsy shop, and they are my favorite new thing, I tell you what. So I'm going to just take my art glitter glue and apply a really tiny amount of this to the back of the card. And I'm just scratching it on there. And then I'm going to eyeball putting it on here in the center from side to side. I've had a little practice doing some A2 cards, so I know where about that is. And it's not going to be centered from top to, well, it is centered from top to bottom, but it's not the same distance as the sides. And that was done on purpose. I wanted there to be a little more blue around the top and the bottom. So I'm just getting that glued down on there. I don't want to rub over my chalk paste, not because it's coming off, because it doesn't smear, but I'm worried about it, you know, if I'm really hard with it on the paper, it can damage the paper itself, not the chalk. So just being careful with that. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to apply some glue to this base. Make sure I get it around the edges. And we're going to center that right here on our card front. Just eyeballing it. I'm not using anything other than my eyeballs and my fingers. No measuring, no layering guides, nothing like that. And there we have it. I'm going to put the pen back in my bottle. That's the whole point, so I don't lose it. So I've got the pen back in my art glitter glue. And there is our finished little A2 card. Just easy peasy. With all of my chit chat and everything, that still went together pretty quick. What do you guys think? I love the shimmer on that. So, so pretty. Time for coffee. I love it too, Nat. It turned out really, really good. I love this thing. I can see just like deciding, okay, this is what color I'm going to do my bases, my cupcake liners, and just go from one to the next to the next. As long as you're using the same color, it's super easy to just pick that transfer up from one, center it on your next one, and go, so that you can do this in mass production if you wanted to. Now, of course, you can clean them off, and if you're going to go from one piece of paper to another piece of paper, or if you're going to do several cupcakes, like if you wanted to do a tower of cupcakes where you had 3 on the bottom and then 2 and then 1 on top, so that you make a triangle pyramid of cupcakes, you might want to have some Lysol wipes available, or any kind of cleaning wipes. And then what you would do is just pull it off, set it on your mat, wipe it down with your wipe, and then you're ready to go for the next one. You don't want to put it in water in between, because it's going to curl up, and you want it to be completely dry before you start your next project, your next application on that same stencil. So, so cute. So what do you think? Do you guys want to see something else? I've got another project here. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to set this here. Have Courage and Be Kind is the other project that I was going to do today. So y'all give me a thumbs up if you want to see that one on camera, because I'm doing that on a chalkboard. But before I do that, okay, great. Thank you for the thumbs up. I wanted to say about the jams. Anybody in here doing the ATC jams with me? I think Natalie's in it. I'm not sure. I don't remember if Linda was in it. Well, here's the deal. We got all of our bases sent out perfectly well on time. Everybody notified me that the bases were sent out on time, and I am number 2 in a bunch of these jams. I was number 1, I was number 2 in a bunch of them as well. And so here's the problem. I'm having mail issues like I have never had before. Like, we've been having mail issues now, we're close to 3 months, but I have been back in Texas for about 6 weeks and having serious issues with my mail carrier. And I did not get mail delivered to my house 3 days this week. This is like a new record. It was 2 days in a row and then 1 day. And what I have come to find out is one of the mail carriers apparently doesn't know that the house isn't vacant. I don't know how that could possibly be, because our house has cars in front of it all the time. But one of the carriers doesn't understand that we're not here, and so they're not delivering our mail. And what happened last week, when I had 1 day where it was missed, the next day when they brought my mail, I had mail that was postmarked as much as 14 days prior to that day, and I got this giant bundle wrapped with rubber bands in my mailbox. It barely even fit in my mailbox. So I know that they really are forwarding my mail back to Texas. I know that everything is getting to me eventually, but it has slowed things down. So if you're in an ATC jam with me and I am your number 2 person in your jam, you need to know that other than Natalie's Christmas ones, I have not received them. So they are going to be late going out because we don't know where they're at. We don't know what's happening. I'm also in quite a few new member swaps. If you're a new member and you're swapping with an experienced member, please, please, please use tracking. That is the easiest thing. If you've got tracking on your package and your person hasn't received it when they should have, it's super easy for you or the recipient to go in and check on where is that package at and find out what's going on with it. So because the new member swaps that I've been getting, I don't believe that they used tracking, we haven't been able to find out where they're at. But I'm hoping that today I'm going to get a big old bundle, and if that is the case, then Monday I'll be sending everything out. So that's just a note on ATC jams, my own little personal craziness that's going on with swaps. It is crazy. 3 days, no mail at all. I'm talking nothing. The mail carrier didn't even come to my door. My mailbox on my house, not at the street, and they didn't even come to the door. And yesterday, just to try it out, I had a piece of mail that I put out there to be outgoing mail just to see, is it just a matter of I'm not even getting junk mail? No, they did not pick up my outgoing mail either. So it's like, all righty, we know for sure. So anyway, moving on. All right, let me write on the back of my Have Courage so that I know which side is the back. One side is shiny, one side is matte. I'm going to write on the matte side so that I know that's the back, and then I don't accidentally put the transfer on the paper that isn't supposed to be there. So this is Have Courage. Yes, tracking is mandatory. I think that gets lost sometimes, or maybe it gets overlooked. I don't know. I know that's been a problem before. So let's see. I'm just going to fuzz this transfer up. I'm using a different towel. I have microfiber towel that I use most of the time, but I really don't want this to stick. So I'm using something that's got a little more texture to it, and it's really, really taking the sticky away. So I'm going to set that aside so I don't accidentally put paste on it, because I don't want to do that. All right, have courage and be kind. We're just going to eyeball this as to what is going to be center and hopefully straight. Neither, not centered or straight. Try that again. Okay, Sticky, cooperate. Okay. What colors, let's see what colors we should do with this one. I want to use something that is bright. Have courage and be kind. Just making sure that I've got nice contact, no air bubbles. Okay, which one do we want to use? I think I want to use, I think I want to use the peach and the Thai teal for these. So get a squeegee ready to go. Hi Maria, good morning. Thanks for joining us. We just made a birthday card and now we're going to chalk up a chalkboard. And actually, I don't know that I'm going to need a squeegee. We may do this with fingertips today, guys. Oh, I should have tapped this down. It's stuck to the lid, so I'm going to tap it down just a little bit. Let me do this one as well. That's because I have them stored on their side right now so that I can see the color real good. I wasn't thinking about that is also bringing all the color to the top. Ooh, this is a brand new one. I haven't used it and it is very, very dry. When you get a new one, you have to stir them down anyway. So I'm going to use my Couture multi-purpose tool. Make sure I don't have anything on that. And I'm just going to go in. Oh, it's thick. It needs to be watered down a little bit. But first I'm going to give it a good stir. And I'm going to mix things around in the jar first before I add any water. Make sure that I pick up all the pigment that is at the bottom. And here's the card that we made while I'm getting this ready. Okay, so I'm going to give this just a little mist of water. One little squirt of water from my mister. And stir, stir, stir. You want it to be the consistency of yogurt or sour cream, and this is still a little thick. So one more mist with water. I'm doing that away from the project so that I don't get my screen wet, my silk screen, or the card. Don't want to get the card wet either. Okay. So let me clean that off a bit. It has entirely too much on it. They do remind me of marshmallow fluff. That is a perfect example. You open the bottle and that's kind of what it's like. Marshmallow fluff. You got to stir it. Yeah, this one definitely needed the water. And I'm just cleaning off the excess off the multi-purpose tool. And that's just because I want to get every bit of it off that I can. And I'm going to go ahead and get the blue ready as well. Yeah, the blue's a little bit dry too. So I'm going to give it a squirt. And for this one, because I don't have my multi-purpose tool clean, I'm just going to grab a stir stick. And use a stir stick. I have more multi-purpose tools. I need to get them open and ready so that I can do multiple multiple ones at the same time. You need them for your colors. Give this a stir. This is such a pretty color. I'm told that this is called Thai Teal, and it is out of our older catalog, but the new catalog has Couture Teal, and I'm told they're pretty much the same color. It's just the new one is a little bit more intense and has more opacity. That's a big word, opacity. It's more opaque. So I'm going to scoop it off of my little stir stick. Get every bit of that goodness that I can. Set that aside. Okay, I'm going to dip it in, and I'm just going to randomly place it around. Oh my goodness, I've not done this. This is very out of the box for me, guys. Okay, this other one, I'm going to actually use my finger. And I'm going to dip it around. Oh, this is so not me. I'm way more controlled than this. Okay, so I'm going to give each one of these little ones where I've put a dot, I'm going to give it a swirl where it's mixing. I'm going to try to keep from mixing it too much at first. They're going to mix together. I want to try to not have it be too muddy to start with. And wipe my fingers off and go in for the Thai Teal. It's drying so fast. Oh my goodness. Okay, we need a little bit more. So let's do Thai Teal. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's drying up really quick on me. I kind of wanted a marbling effect, so that's a good thing because that's definitely what is going to happen. Hopefully that's going to be a happy accident. Okay, I'm putting some water on my fingers because this is really, really dry. And I'm just going to go over the areas and make sure that the design is covered. And let's put a little more of this peach down here and a little more of the peach over here on the side. And get that worked in some spots. Fabulous. Fabulous. Okay. I think that I have everything done. I actually look. Okay. Now I'm going to take the squeegee and go over the whole thing. Now, you can't put this back in the bottle, so I'm just wiping it off. I don't know. I'm hoping this is going to be fabulous and not a fail. We're going to find out. Okay, here goes. Uh-oh. Maybe here goes. If we can get it lifted up. Oh, yeah. Lots of marbling. There we go. Have courage and be kind. And I have a little spot where I went off of the transfer. I'm just going to wipe that away. There we go. Marbling. I like it. Oh, I've got some on the edges I need to wipe away too. I'm going to take a Q-tip and do that on the edges. And there's a little tiny smear up here that I'm going to do the same thing once it dries completely. But otherwise it's really, really, it turned out good. It, you know, I almost want to say it's camouflagey, but it's a little, it's not the right colors to be camouflaged, but you know, it has that kind of effect. Maria, these are Chalk Couture Chalkology paste. They are liquid chalk that comes in a jar that you apply over the top of silk screen transfers to make designs, and it allows you to make signs really really quick and easy. Sometimes I have a little bit of a struggle with it. I think that my chalk dries really quick. I think that has to do with air conditioning and fans and Texas heat. It's drying out. I notice the hotter it is, the hotter it gets, the quicker the chalk paste dries, which just kind of makes sense. But it's super easy to reconstitute with water, and it doesn't dry out in the jar. It doesn't become like a solid brick of chalk. And you just put some mists of water in there and stir it around, and you're good to go for your next application. Put those aside. Oh my goodness. Now I have a chalky mess. I love seeing my work surface when I'm done doing this, because it's like, it's colorful, and it just, I don't know, just, it's kind of like when I'm doing inking projects. It just makes me happy. The color just makes me happy. Is anybody else like that? They're really fun. I think expensive is relative, because you can get it retail or you can get it wholesale, and the wholesale price on them, oh, Natalie, maybe you know. I'm trying to think. I don't have the prices off the top of my head. I want to say that the inks are $13 retail, and I'm sorry, the ink is $14 retail, and the chalk is $13 retail for a 3-ounce jar. 3 ounces is going to go much further than like an ink pad is going to go, for sure, of the chalk paste. But you can get it at 40% off if you sign up to be a designer. Most of our designers that sign up in groups like this actually are hobbyists like me, who just want to do it for the discount, want to be involved in it for the discount, not for the business side of it. And it is so much fun. And I think it works better than texture paste. It's very different than texture paste. But you buy it through Chalk Couture. It's independent designers. Natalie's a designer. I'm a designer. And you can send me a PM if you're interested in getting a little sample kit. I do sample kits for $8 for the PCE members, and you just get a little transfer and a little squeegee and a little bit to try out, so that you can see if it's something that you like before you go buying the actual bottles, the actual jars of product. I just love it. It works on any flat surface, including paper. The ink is what you use if you're putting it on fabric, and then you heat set it, and then it becomes washable. But I did with the birthday card, I used the shimmer silver ink to do the birthday card, and it worked fabulous. I love the shimmer of that. I hope that the camera is picking it up. So much fun. Have courage and be kind. And this is a boutique board that actually sits in the little holder like this. And you can chalk the wood too, but once you chalk the wood, you can't change it. So I'm just going to leave it plain. But this boutique board, you can put vertical or horizontal, and you can use both sides. So I can do a different design on the other side and get extra use out of it. And when I'm done with the design and I don't want to use it anymore, I spray it with water, wipe it off, and it's ready to chalk up again and make a different design. These boutique boards with the stand are $9.99. I just couldn't even believe it. Like, that is such a deal. So cute. It is so much fun. I'm like, I want to chalk everything, and I'm making a lot of signs. Let's see, I'm going to grab the sign from yesterday. Here is a sign that I did yesterday, and we had some difficulty with all the different colors. My chalk paste was drying in the silk screen really, really quick, so I went back over the top of it and did it again where it's pumpkin spice, and really, really like how that turned out. And then I did another one yesterday also with the pumpkin spice, but different, and I did this one on metal. And it didn't have any distressing at all. It turned out really quick. Quick seems to be the trick. You want to work quickly so that the chalk paste doesn't dry within the design. Here we go. Well, those are the projects that I had ready to go this morning. I have a big Halloween one that I'm trying to figure out how to get it on camera. I'm going to have to work sideways with it because of the size of the template. So let's see. Okay, now it says the price of the jar is $7.79 a jar wholesale, but they're $12 retail, and the inks are $1 more. So if you want to get the discount, the 40% discount, I think of it as using a 40% off coupon at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. If you sign up to be a designer, you get that 40% off of all of your products, and you get access to some of the products earlier than general public does, which is kind of fun. Every month you get a new design that is a month. They send it directly to you, and it just shows up, and you don't know what the design is going to be. It's a mystery, but it's available to the rest of the public the next month. So that's kind of fun. It's like being in a stamp club. The difference between the paste and the inks are, there's two differences. The biggest ones are what you use it on, because the paste is removable when you use it on chalkboards, chalkboard, glass, metal, it's removable. The ink is permanent when it's heat set. I have not tried to take the ink off of a chalkboard or off of a piece of metal. I just haven't done it yet because they say that it's permanent, so I didn't want to take a chance on it. I'm reusing all of my surfaces. I'm selling a lot of my surfaces, but I'm still leaving them temporary. I'm not sealing them with Krylon sealant or anything. So that's one of the differences, is paste is removable, ink is permanent. Also, the ink being a little bit thinner consistency, and what they can put for suspending in it. They have 3 metallic inks that are shimmer. So it's really wonderful. Yeah, it's 40% off of everything all the time. It's not just select items. It's all of their stuff all of the time. If you're a designer, you get 40% off the top, which is really, really fabulous. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I consider them to be about $8 a jar after the tax and the shipping. And I cannot imagine going through a jar. I have some 2-ounce jars that they've actually discontinued the 2-ounce jar. Let me open this up. I've done, with this 2-ounce jar, I have, it's got about 1/3 of the paste left in it. I have sent out 6 samples of this paste out of this jar, and I have made at least 8 projects using the white. That is pretty interesting. I'm like, I keep waiting. I'm like, okay, I'm going to run out. Today's going to be the day I'm going to run out of white. Nope, not today. So, yeah, I'm glad that I could answer those questions for you. So much fun. All right, guys, well, we've been on here, looks like close to an hour. So if you guys don't have anything else, I'm going to jump off for today. Give me a thumbs up if you're good to go. Awesome. All right, guys, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.